the more important and maybe the most important scene that we've gotten. Um, After lots and lots of frustration on my side, very personal, where I felt that, yeah, the story picked up pace and then again threw a wrench in it, and it's like when you're on a bicycle and you start to pick up speed and someone sticks a stick in your wheel, and it's like you come crashing down. It just hurts, and this is how I felt about Boruto. Reading these pages where the three girls were laying down on a bed, that just hurt me. It's just, I saw from what kind of movie, what kind of cheesy scene inspired Kishimoto. I don't really know at this point. Is Kishimoto himself writing the script 100% himself? It's 100% from head to toe Kishimoto's. I hope so. I think so. I'm gonna roll with that assumption. Um, I wasn't really happy where this whole um, dynamic was gonna lead with Ada and Demon and Boruto and Kawaki, and then the girls being in the house and they're kind of playing house with each other. It felt like a bad sitcom, like Friends or like Full House, ninja version. It seems like the the story finally is going to connect to what was shown in the very, very first chapter of Boruto the manga, the very first 3 pages of the first chapter, which was also the scene that the anime started with, after which the anime transitioned into a long filler, basically um, hundreds, 100 episodes of just filler over, which I criticized in one of my previous videos. So yeah, I don't want to go on about what I dislike about Boruto again, because overall I still follow the manga, and I wouldn't follow the manga if I wouldn't at least kinda enjoy it. Um, Maybe at some point it had always been that lingering ember in my heart from my passionate fire that was burning, my love for Naruto, the original manga. I don't think Boruto is all bad. I think it's an overall good story, but the progression of the story is really painfully slow, and especially for a manga that gets released monthly, this is an issue. And so I was really happy to see suddenly things going quick, like quick. I was expecting Kawaki to kind of go on a rage, and then some 10-page stupid back and forth bickering between Naruto and Kawaki. I still feel his abilities are a little bit too OP. And that is something I already felt was an issue in the fight of Naruto and Sasuke, and Kawaki and Boruto versus Jigen, Ishiki Utsutsuki, where Ishiki's conceptually very simple, but in terms of efficiency, extremely powerful ability to just shrink himself and other things into pretty much non-existence, was so OP that there was almost nothing that his adversaries, namely our heroes, Naruto and Sasuke, primarily those two, could do against him. In addition to ninjutsu practically having become irrelevant in these Otsutsuki fights, his ability to shrink down everything, nullifying almost anything and everything that's thrown at him, is just so OP. And him being able to shrink himself, avoid attacks, sneak up on enemies, making it even difficult for Sasuke to catch up and follow him visually. That was just so overpowered, and we've seen yet again that being replicated with Kawaki. It's not clear how his power fares against Ishiki. If he's kind of close, it was stated that he's kind of 80% or something like that in Ishiki, that his karma opened up to 80%, so he's 80% Otsutsuki fight. So we might assume he's kind of 80% on a power level, 80% Ishiki. Nevertheless, OP. Then there is the second scene that's, I think, the more important and maybe the most important scene that we've gotten. And I think it might be even the most important scene that we've ever gotten in Boruto. Maybe along with the explanation of the nature of Otsutsuki and being revealed, Momoshiki being still a relevant entity inside Boruto. This, what I want to talk about, is, I think, the biggest and most important revelation, possibly. And that's when Demon goes after Himawari, Boruto's little sister. And Boruto kind of gets it the wrong way. She's like, "Oh no, as a big brother, I can't allow that." And he thinks like this is it might even be, to the reader, be portrayed in a way to mislead, jokingly, that this is affection or a romantic reaction on Demon's side. Him picking up on Himawari, kind of like, oh, she's kind of like a sweet girl. Like, I've never seen someone like that. Demon's first butterflies. But I don't think that. I think, and most people probably caught that up, that it's probably a hint at Himawari being actually possessing powers, hidden powers. And there had been moments in the anime and in the manga, the manga shorts leading up to how Naruto became a Hokage, where Himawari got angry and took out Naruto in a single strike. That was kinda, in a humorous way, portraying Himawari as scary. But she had never been seriously, like in a serious manner, made out to be strong. And I think this is the first time we've gotten a hint of that. That Himawari might actually be very strong and very relevant for the story. Which actually makes a lot of sense, thinking that both Naruto and Hinata, their respective parents, have some kind of ninja clan, important ninja clan heritage. And while Boruto was right from the get-go made out to be a very talented, skilled person, gifted, who from the get-go could utilize many nature transformations, transforming his chakra into different natures, quickly learning the Rasengan, being able to use the Kagebunshin no Jutsu, and being able to hold himself against skilled ninja and opponents. So while Boruto was from the get-go made out to be skilled, he didn't have any specific Byakugan or inherent specific abilities in him prior to getting his karma, and through the activation of his karma later Otsutsuki-fying and making use of some of Momoshiki's abilities. Short side note, something I criticized in my previous video. I'm not a huge fan of this whole Jugan thing. I think that's a pile of crap, and where the anime kind of went past the line and interpreted things without consulting with the mangaka back then, Ukyo Kodachi, which led to, I believe, a lot of issues for the manga and the anime, and to get those two mediums that basically are supposed to tell the same story, with the anime actually being an adaptation of the manga, with tons of filler in between to not catch up too quickly. So I don't believe the Jugan to be a thing. And that said, Boruto didn't really have a specific ability, any kind of blood-related, clan-related ability prior to his karma. He didn't have a Byakugan, and I don't think he had a Jugan. He didn't have any ability, no eye ability, no special ability. He was talented. And just that. Himawari, on the other side, was displayed with a Byakugan, and to me, that scene where she knocked out Naruto in a single palm strike, even though it was kind of displayed as humor, gave, I think, a hint at Himawari actually being a strong character. And the question now might be where her strength stems from. It might just be natural strength that once in a while, every generation, there is an outstanding character, and sometimes outstanding people get born, or like sometimes coincidence comes along and outstanding people just happen to be. Same in the world of ninja. Sometimes certain clans and sometimes certain beings just happen to develop into outstanding people. Not, I believe, for Himawari, that would be just too much coincidence. I think here we can I think we can speculate it to come down to one of two, or possibly a combination of these two factors. The one being the most likely and less spectacular one. The other one being me leaning a bit out of the window and fantasizing a little bit, being very speculative. But I'll elaborate. So the first possible explanation for her outstanding ability, aside of course it just being sheer luck, that she's inherently gifted, genetically blessed, is the first explanation might be that her being a descendant of both the Uzumaki clan, which is also related to the Senju clan, and the Hyuga clan also being ultimately descendants of Kaguya, that these two lines coming together resulted in her inheriting outstanding abilities. The other and second, and as I said, I think more speculative possibility is, and here I'm theorizing a lot, that Himawari is actually a reincarnation of Kaguya. And now I said it. So yes, reincarnation, or at least transgression, I don't know what's the proper word, of souls seem to be a thing in the Naruto/Boruto universe. We've seen that with both the sons of the Sage of the Sixth Path, Ashura and Indra. Indra basically being the founder of the Uchiha clan, his soul or his spirit, his energy, his essence being passed down his lineage, first manifesting again in Madara Uchiha, and then again all the way down to Sasuke Uchiha. On the other hand, Ashura, his soul, his spirit, or his essence, his energy, being passed down his lineage, his line, the Senju clan, first manifesting in the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, and then further down the line in Naruto. I think, short side note, it is very interesting to theorize how Naruto is related to the Senju clan. It is pointed out that he is related to the Senju clan due to him being an Uzumaki, his mother being a pure Uzumaki, and the Uzumaki clan being kind of like a side arm of the Senju clan. I have a slightly different theory. We know Naruto's father, looking very similar to Naruto, his family name being Namikaze. We know him exhibiting a very similar chakra shroud, a cloak, when he enters the Nine-Tails mode, when he did so during the war, with his half of Kurama sealed inside him, fighting alongside his son. So, and this, by the way, being in contrast to all the Jinchuriki forms exhibited by the other Jinchuriki with the other tailed beasts sealed inside them. So we can see that this seems to be either something exclusive to Kurama, that tailed beast, which might not be 100% true, because previously we've seen Naruto transform in a more classic way that is more in line with the other tailed beast, which leads me more to believe that this is something, an ability that is connected to Naruto and his father specific. And when we've seen Ashura in a flashback or depicted in his fight with Indra, the ancestors of the Senju and Uchiha clan, we've seen Ashura in a cloak, in a chakra cloak, similar to Naruto and his father Minato Namikaze, which leads me rather to the conclusion that Naruto is not connected or is not falling in the line in the heritage of the Senju clan through his mother, through his Uzumaki heritage, but rather through his father. And an interesting thing is that there are not that many characters with blonde hair. Another exception is actually Tsunade, and we've never got to see her family name, so fans always speculated her being actually Naruto's grandmother, which would be a nice joke or a nice Easter egg, considering Naruto also actually calls her granny Tsunade Oba-chan. But whatever this is true, whichever family side from Naruto inherited this, ultimately irrelevant. We see that this is true for both Ashura and Indra, that their soul, their essence had been passed down the generations. We also see that the Sage of the Sixth Path, even through his soul, had not been passed on to other people, that he somehow managed to preserve himself in a way that it was possible for him to interact with both Naruto and Sasuke in their near-death situation, subconsciously or whatever. And we've seen a similar thing with the brother of the Sage of the Sixth Path, the other son of Kaguya, being able to kind of keep his essence, his soul, his spirit alive, remain in the world in some way or some layer of the world, of reality, in whatever way, and be able to interact with Hinata in the movie Naruto the Last. So this had been a repeated concept. Also, we've seen that with Momoshiki being inside Boruto and repeatedly interacting, communicating, talking with him. We've seen that also with Ishiki after his demise, keeping himself together for long enough to be able to communicate with Code, to communicate to him to carry on his ideals. The question is whether Kaguya actually died in their battle, in the battle between her and Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura and Kakashi, Team 7 versus Kaguya. That's the question, whether or not that led to her death, and or how and if she was able to make her spirit kind of reincarnate into another vessel. Possibly Himawari had been the next suitable person, the next suitable candidate to house her power. At this point, I want to talk a little bit about Kaguya as a character itself, because I feel it's not a very liked character. Me personally, I think Kaguya was not written poorly in terms of her character, but she had a poor build-up and her introduction was executed poorly. I think Kishimoto could have done a much better job at hinting at her, giving maybe stories or alluding, having other characters allude to her as an existence, as a legend, as a myth, much earlier in the story, so fans, readers didn't feel steamrolled when suddenly Kaguya emerged out of Madara. And Madara, on the other side, was a very well established, well integrated and built up character that had so much hype on him and was, as an antagonist, so liked. The way he planned everything out, he was kind of like the Aizen of Naruto in the Naruto universe, having planned and schemed everything, and that it turned out he was just used by some entity behind him that wasn't even introduced well and in any way prior. So I think many fans felt steamrolled by this sudden revelation. Many fans probably would have preferred the story to just roll with Madara Uchiha as the final antagonist only, to just save the whole Kaguya thing and just keep rolling with Madara. He was fine, he was good, he was a cool antagonist. And the story could have played out, at least for Naruto, absolutely the same without Kaguya. So she was kinda unnecessary for the story. The story could have played out exactly 100% the same with Kaguya never ever appearing, Team 7 giving a group effort to take down Madara in a final climactic battle, and then Naruto and Sasuke's final fight at the end of the Naruto manga could have played out the same way, in the same fashion it did. So in that sense, Kaguya almost unnecessary. One could say Kaguya is a redundant character. And she even took away the spotlight of a very good antagonist, which makes it even more sad. But ultimately, she in herself is not a bad character. And even without the backstory that was given in the Naruto anime, which is kind of wacky and it's disputable whether or not that's canon or not, I feel part of the community of the fandom just accepts it as Kaguya's backstory, how she met her lover and ultimately came to conceive her children, Hagoromo, the Sage of the Six Paths, and his brother, who then respectively started the most important and powerful lineages, lines, clans, the Sanju clan, the Uchiha clan, the Hyuga clan, and possibly the Kimimaru clan. The last of the Kimimaru clan was also in service of Orochimaru. We can assume that Kaguya and her sons founded the strongest ninja clans in the Naruto universe. Thus, Kaguya is the one character that ties all of these clans together, and also there is something about it, just introducing this bigger than humanity character, which was introduced with the moniker, with the title Rabbit Queen, Rabbit Goddess. Her naming, her character, is a play on the story, on the tale of Kaguya Hime, Princess Kaguya, but also on the myth that there are rabbits on the moon pounding mochi. For those of you that don't know what's mochi, it's kind of like a sticky rice dough that you get through pounding the rice. Also, her character design in terms of looks, her abilities. I really liked Kaguya. It's like even maybe I'm the minority of fans, but even though she was a late game, end game introduction, very late in the story and not built up well, the story didn't handle her introduction well. Still, I think she's a really cool character. And I think it's a shame that she is so irrelevant for Boruto, the manga, up to now. And I think it's just very exciting to imagine her becoming relevant again. Possibly not in an antagonistic role, but taking on a supportive role or even changing up the dynamic of being an additional antagonist. And this is where I want to talk about another last point, that the story now is at a very, very interesting point, that Kawaki, now having assumed his role that we've seen him from the beginning, revealing his intentions of fulfilling his twisted promise of killing Boruto. This is a moment where we have a weird situation where we have possibly multiple antagonists, where it's not clear who's gonna take what side. It's kind of like a battle royal. Story-wise, we have Amado, where it's not clear whether he truly says what his intentions are, and if he truly is on the good side, or if he has some ulterior motives, some secret agenda, some ace up his sleeve to make things go his way, as he was kind of a trickster who did things and manipulated things to go his way. Then we have Ada, who it's not really clear what kind of character she's gonna be. Her motives and her drive seems to be kind of childish, just wanting to have someone who truly loves her, but what kind of character and what kind of role she will play is really unclear. She could be a supportive or a really antagonistic, destructive character. We have Code, who clearly plans to take revenge for Jigen slash Ishiki, who wants to kill Naruto, Boruto, the Leaf Village, and pretty much execute the chakra tree plan to let a chakra tree grow and kill and dry out the planet just to seize the chakra fruit. We have Kawaki, of course, who is absolutely built up to be a rival from the beginning, who now took action to teleport Naruto, and who was shown from the very beginning to be the antagonist, or it seemed that he is that. We have Momoshiki, who is still kind of a threat, and it's still not clear if he's gonna be someone or something that's gonna be supportive. It seems more likely that he's just waiting for his chance to emerge and take control of Boruto, to be a Jack A. Then we have possibly other Utsutsuki who are waiting in the shadow, possibly an ascended Utsutsuki god, and possibly even a comeback of Kaguya, which I just the idea I excite and seems intriguing. So many characters could take on the role of the lead antagonist, and it's really hard to make predictions at this moment where alliances lie and who will be the primary main antagonist, how the story will shift, and whether or not Kawaki truly is the main antagonist. Thank you for tuning in, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.